Hello and welcome to Champaign, Illinois, as the Michigan Wolverines travel southwest to take on the Fighting Illini of Illinois. I'm Dalton Pataki. Alongside me, Leo Blavin from high atop the State Farm Center. Michigan, 11-5, 1-2 in the Big Ten, looking to even that Big Ten record, advance to 12-5 on the season. But the Illinois Illini in a very similar situation. They too are 1-2, 11-5 on the season, looking to defend home court advantage against a Michigan team that you're not sure what team is going to show up.
Yeah, Michigan is a team that started the year so promisingly. They started, of course, dominating that NIT season dominating when they played in the Barclays Center as part of the 2K Classic. They completely dismantled Marquette and SMU. Since then, though, they've been very hit or miss. They struggled against South Carolina on the road. They struggled at UCLA against a very good UCLA team. This is their third true road game of the season. And in reality, looking ahead to NCAA tournament, the bubble conversation, these are the games Michigan needs to win, and even more importantly, can't afford to lose.
No, especially they have a home tilt against Nebraska this Saturday. So then they travel to Wisconsin. Never easy to play in Madison, and especially road wins in the Big Ten. You got to take them while you can get them. And talking with some of the staff here at the State Farm Center, this Illinois team, you don't know what you're going to get with.
Yeah, Illinois, they start two 6-year seniors. Tracy Abrams, who's been here since Tim Hardaway was on the floor for the Maize and Blue. He's going to be their starting ball handler. They don't start a single true freshman on their side. Same goes for Michigan. So it's two teams heavy in experience, but maybe not heavy in as much skill as you'll see across the conference. But even in a down year for conference play, anytime you can get a win on the road in Big Ten play, it's extremely important because, as you said, this might be Michigan's last chance to get an easy road conference victory because they already blew that opportunity at Iowa, but it's certainly not going to be easy to win on the road against the likes of Michigan State or Indiana. Tonight is an opportunity for Michigan to boost their tournament resume.
And starting lineups for the teams have been announced. For the home team, Jalen Coleman Lands, LaRon Black, Tracy Abrams, leading scorer Malcolm Hill, and Maverick Morgan. And then for the visiting Wolverines, DJ Wilson, Derek Walton Jr., Muhammad Ali, Abdur Rahman, Maurice Wagner, and Zach Urban. In a stadium that I would say is close to 90 to 95% full, will certainly not be a friendly environment for the Maize and Blue.
Yeah, the one break Michigan caught is the students are not back here at the University of Illinois yet, but there's still a few students parceled throughout the crowd. But in one of the largest arenas in college basketball, and certainly in the Big Ten, it's still a very good crowd, and it will be loud in here tonight. Anytime Michigan comes to play on the road, they get the home crowd's best effort.
Michigan wearing their traditional blue uniforms with the maize trim. Illinois white with blue stripes down the sides. Michigan will be traveling from left to right along your radio dials. DJ Wilson in the center for the jump. And the jump will go to Illinois as Tracy Abrams will bring it up to initiate the offense. Dribble handoff to Malcolm Hill. Back to Abrams. Abrams up top. Dumps it down low now into, I believe that's
Morgan Maverick, who just laid it off the glass. And Maverick at 6'10", he is a senior going with him for the start tonight over Mike Thorne, who's the typical starter. So already a different look. He's also a three-point shooter.
And a quick give and go between Muhammad Ali, Abdur Rahman, and DJ Wilson results in a Wilson 5-footer. That's good as Abrams quickly brings it ahead and hands it off to Coleman Lands, who's up top now. 20 on the shot clock. Swung all the way around back to Coleman Lands. Pick and pop now with LaRon Black. LaRon Black 15-footer is down.
The one thing you'll notice with crowds like this, without it being full of students, any made shots by Michigan's really going to take the crowd out of it.
Now up top, Derek Walton Jr. Defended there by Abrams. Swings it along to Rockman. Rockman into DJ Wilson. Wilson, an 8-footer. That one's down. DJ Wilson 2 for 2 early on the day. Any type of offensive production out of him will be a something the Wolverines will take. Now Coleman lands up top with Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman on it. Swings it over to Abrams.
And there's an echo in this building, and you're hearing the sneakers on the hardwood. You don't usually get it this quiet in a Big Ten venue, but tonight with the students not here, crowd noise may not be that big a factor.
Fed all the way into Maverick Morgan. Missed an open layup, but gets the hook shot over Mo Wagner. Excuse me. Anyway, he missed an easy layup there. Zach Irvin now along the wing. Swings it up top to Wagner, all the way over to Wilson. Wilson up top now for Derek Walton Jr. Hesitation dribble all the way to the hoop, swing back around. Zach Irvin, 15-footer, is down.
Yeah, from that right elbow spot, really either of the elbows, it seems to be his most comfortable shooting spot. And if he can get going early, that's a big edge for Michigan on the road.
Coleman lands, now has it along the right wing, swings it along to Hill. Hill directing traffic. Now into, that was LeBron Black. LeBron Black, fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebound Michigan.
First miss Michigan's forced all night defensively.
Ball gets swung around out top to Derek Walton Jr. into DJ Wilson. Back around to Derek Walton Jr. Hesitation dribble, and it looks like they're going to get Abrams for reaching in.
Illinois is one of the deepest teams in the conference. It may not be full of talented depth, but this is a team that's willing to go 11 deep. So foul trouble, much bigger issue for Michigan in terms of depth.
Irvin triggering inbounds, gets it safely into Derek Walton Jr. Back into the corner for Irvin, who works baseline for an easy right-handed lane.
Yeah, it's great to see him getting going early. Certainly a big edge when Michigan's top offensive threat is finding his way to the bucket with ease.
Michigan 4 for 4 early on. They lead 8-6 with 16:57 to play in the opening half. Hill now feeds it in to LeBron Black. LeBron Black, 15-footer with a hand in his face, knocks it down. DJ Wilson played safe defense there. Didn't pay off, though.
Shots falling on both ends. Quite the start offensively.
Wilson has it up top, directing traffic, swings it along to Derek Walton Jr., who receives a screen from Mo Wagner. He dumps it in now on the screen and go. Wagner has the much smaller Abrams, works left-handed, gets it off of back iron bound. That didn't fall.
Yeah.
Rebound Illinois. As Abrams now has it down low, handoff to, Coleman lands, who works inside, who eventually gives off to LeBron Black. LeBron Black again from 2 feet out.
Yeah, but Wagner's got to finish on the other end. A 6'10 guy matched up with a 6'2", 6-year guard. He had prime positioning as well. Dunk it over.
Illinois now with the lead, 10-8. And we have a
off-ball foul. And the first media timeout. Early on, shots falling for both teams. Yeah, Michigan, not a great defensive start, but they've made up for it on the offensive end of the floor, really. The only miss they've had is a matchup you'll take any day of the week with Wagner matched up against Tracy Abrams. But you expect the shots to eventually stop falling on both ends and the looks to come a little bit less easy. But one thing that's become apparent here early on is Michigan's not going to have to deal with a hostile crowd because Illinois is playing as well as they can to keep the crowd engaged. It's just not going to happen. So no excuse for Michigan to not execute their offense like they're playing at home. And you see this with those great games. Illinois, they have their fall semester, and then they run a winter semester between the months of December and January, much similar to the University of Michigan spring semester. And then their spring-winter classes will resume the 17th. Yeah, and it's also tough. It's an 8 o'clock game local time. It's a Tuesday night, so it's certainly not the ideal scheduling for a marquee crowd, but it's filled out pretty nicely, though. Yeah, certainly is an impressive crowd, much larger than you'll ever see at Chrysler, however. A lot of empty seats, and in this arena that's so cavernous, it is really massive, and the high arcing ceilings, it's hard to really generate that much noise, but when it's crowded in here, as I experienced 2 years ago, the last time Michigan played in Urbana-Champaign, it's really loud.
Michigan hitting the jump shots early. Say that goes away. What's the offensive strategy?
I mean, keep doing what they're doing. They need to find ways to get Zach Irvin continually involved because he's playing really well right now. He's a guy who could be a lockdown defender when he's engaged at both ends of the floor. And right now he's feeling it. Let him keep shooting until he gets pulled. On the defensive end, though, they've got to play more aggressive because it's clear having a hand in a guy's face isn't going to be enough for LaRon Black, and Wilson just a step too slow. From 15 feet out, you can play up tight on him. He's not going to blow by you, and Wilson has an edge in size over him.
Yeah. Michigan shooting 4 of 5 to start. Illinois 5 of 6. No three-pointer yet to be attempted. It looks like the off-ball foul was assessed to Illinois. It'll be Michigan's ball on their own baseline, or excuse me, on the Illinois baseline, with a fresh 30 on the shot clock. Zach Irvin inbounding for the Wolverines as they're in a traditional box set. Pass to DJ Wilson along the left wing as he dribbles out. Now gets swung around to Derek Walton Jr., who gets it to Wilson back on the wing over to Wagner. Wagner up top to Irvin. Irvin gets a screen. DJ Wilson on the right wing. Not a lot of penetration thus far for the Wolverines. Zach Irvin hands it off to Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman. 9-8-7. Rahman all the way into the lane, flips it up and in. Off the glass with 6 seconds on the shot clock. Good possession there for the Michigan Wolverines late. As now we see John Lucas checked in for the game for the Illini.
Yeah, the only starter left on the floor is the freshman Coleman Land. So Michigan, with their starters still out there, taking advantage of Illinois' bench being out there. You rarely see this big a change so early on, but Illinois has the depth to do it.
Nichols, Finke, Lucas, Malcolm Hill, and trying to get the last number. Oh, and Coleman Lands. Hill and Coleman Lands still in. Ball now over to Finke in the corner. Pump fake. Wagner bites, but he doesn't do anything with it. Now up top to Lucas. 3-2 on the shot clock. Pull up 3 from John Lucas. Off the glass and in. Desperation shot. Illinois lost track of the shot clock. Doesn't matter. The three-pointer goes down. 13-10. Illinois leads here in Champaign.
Yeah, and Tijon Lucas, not normally the best three-point shooter on the team, but clock running down, desperation, but everything continuing to fall.
DJ Wilson now working with the much smaller Coleman Lands on him. Can't get the hook shot to go. Rebound, Illinois.
And Michigan does have a size advantage with this lineup.
Oh, quite a size advantage at that. Hill now has it, swings around to Finke. Finke handoff to Coleman Lands, who dumps it into a perfectly sealed off Hill. And DJ Wilson got burned on defense. Excuse me, that was Nichols.
And Nichols at 6'6". Wilson, no need to jump that pass. You can be content with him getting the ball in the low block, and Danelle will come off the bench because he's the much savvier defender.
Ball almost get poked away. Walton Jr. drives, hands off to Rockman. Rockman gets an easy lay-in.
Yeah, nice court awareness by the two front court players.
It's now Nichols, Lucas had it on the floor, but kicks it out to Hill. And it looks like we have a timeout for maybe blood. That's probably the best I can think of. As Finke comes off the floor, the player that stopped play. Or it looks like maybe a shoe. Or
I think there might have been some sort of loose debris on the floor that caused him to lose his footing, and they got that cleared up. Maybe some confetti or something, because he went over to that tape they have on the sideline to clean your sneakers off.
He's getting his ankle looked at now, though, so maybe that caused an injury. Abrams is checked back in, and he has it up top with 6 on the shot clock. Step back jumper, 18 feet. Front iron, no good. Rebound, Irvin, as he pushes up, no numbers. He pulls up over to Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman. 3 in transition, splash.
And that's Michigan's offensive game at its best. They like to take the threes, and if they can get an open look early in a possession, they're not afraid to pull the trigger. It was Duncan Robinson at the other elbow extended, and on the right elbow extended, Rahman just ready to shoot. Catch and shoot three-pointers are the John Beilein specialty on offense.
Lucas has it up top as he's starting the offense with 15 seconds on the shot clock. He receives a screen from recently checked in Maverick Morgan, who gets the dish on a pick and roll and lays it in. Michigan just giving up too many easy baskets. Duncan Robinson has it along the right wing. He passes it tipped, though, and out of bounds. Will stay with Michigan. Michigan with 21 on the shot clock.
Michigan, a couple breakdowns near the basket defensively. When a team's hitting outside shots, you're over-aggressive defending them around the perimeter, and Michigan's having double teams 15 feet from the basket when there's no need.
Urban has it up top, dribbles around. He's working with the much bigger Maverick Morgan, but Morgan gets the steal up to Lucas. Lucas over to Nichols. Nichols into Abrams. Abrams loses it. Had an easy layup if he could hold on. Now they settle it back up to Lucas.
Good transition defense by Rockmond to force a couple near turnovers, but if nothing else, delay the offensive attack.
Abrams has it up top now. Hands it off to Aaron Jordan, who eventually swings around and gets into Morgan Maverick. Morgan Maverick working with Mark Donnell on him, and too easy right hook, almost uncontested. Mark Donnell not getting the hands up.
Michigan really struggling on the interior defensively. Illinois, not a team that likes to pound it down low in the paint, but they're doing an effective job of it early on here.
19-15 Illinois leads as Duncan Robinson tries to work right baseline, picks up his dribble, can't get it off, eventually finds a back-cutting Irvin. Pass gets tipped from Irvin all the way to Rockman, and Rockman for three.
We'll just
nice
give
to
him
see
credit.
Him going early.
We'll just give him credit for great vision, but I think that was one intended for Donnell. But Rockman, like most shooters on this Michigan team and most shooters in the country, much more comfortable on catch and shoot threes. And sometimes when you're lucky, it's better than being good, and that's the case there for Irvin with a now nice assist on the score sheet.
Lucas has it up top now. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Illinois hasn't done much. And a screen coming from Morgan Maverick. Gets the feed on a pick and pop. Misses. Rebound. Nichols. The shot, no good. It looks like we had an off-ball foul on the Wolverines.
Yep, Michigan picking up a foul that'll send us into a media timeout, but Michigan, no excuse for not out-rebounding Illinois in this game. Illinois, not a team that comes in particularly good on the boards, averaging just 37.2 rebounds per game. They also don't shoot it well, so that'll generate a few more rebounds than Michigan has averaged all season. Michigan, a much better shooting team. But Illinois doesn't have the size to contend with Michigan down low, so there's no excuse for Michigan giving up interior points or giving up offensive rebounds like they just did there.
And DJ Wilson, someone who this team looks to for a rebounding spark, has yet to get his name on the rebounding stat sheet. 4 points and no rebounds for DJ Wilson early on. Only 2 rebounds credited to the Michigan Wolverines, and those both come from Zach Irvin.
Rockman, too, is a guy who's started probably his best start all season. He's 4 for 4, including 2 tries from deep, and he came into this game averaging just under 8 points per game, but he had a season-high 12 field goal attempts last time out against Maryland. And Michigan, their offense at the end of last season really depended on Rockman's presence on the offensive end of the floor. So if he can continue to be an offensive contributor like he is right now, that's a good sign for Michigan's offense, not only in this game, but going forward as well.
And Illinois both teams continue to shoot at that high pace. Michigan 80%, 8 of 10 shooting. Illinois 9 of 12. Both teams are a combined 3 for 3 beyond the long line. Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman has 2 of those. And only 1 turnover so far between both teams. 9 minutes into this one, that coming courtesy of the Michigan Wolverines. Illinois ahead in Champaign, 19-18 with 11:07 to go in the first half.
With how wide open the floor has been on both sides, you'd like to see Michigan's 3-point shot attempts go up because there's a lot of open looks out there if Michigan's less selfish with the basketball. It's hard to criticize them, though. They're shooting 80% from the field. But with this wide open a game, Michigan is in a position to trade 3s for 2s. And with how well Beeline teams shoot traditionally, that's an advantage I think Michigan needs to take.
And maybe we can see someone by the likes of Duncan Robinson, after having a phenomenal first half of the season last year, in his first year, has really kind of disappeared from that knockdown 3-point shooting role. This could be the game that could get him up and going.
Yeah, it certainly could be. On the road, Michigan, just as a team, has not shot the ball particularly well in their previous 2 attempts. They shot the lights out in the first half against UCLA, but they went radio silent in the second half of that one, and then South Carolina was a horror show. Iowa, the same thing, particularly from behind the arc. It'd be nice to see them turn it around. And another quick off-ball foul.
From Michigan, number 22, Duncan Robinson.
Right on cue, at least he gets his name on the stat sheet.
Looks like Jordan, Coleman lands, Abrams, Maverick, and Ron Black in for the Illini. Abrams have it now working down low, flips it up, and draws a foul from Mark Donnell. Mark Donnell, I thought, played pretty good defense there.
Only his first foul, but he came in to provide defensive relief and, honestly, a defensive upgrade for Wagner, and that has not been the case since he entered.
First free throws of the game for any team coming up. And Abrams hits the first one.
Malcolm Hill checking in for Illinois, replacing Aaron Jordan.
And what a luxury it has, your star ball handler, your point guard, to be a guy who's been around the Big Ten for 6 years.
And the second one from the seasoned veteran is down. You might miss those 6 years ago, but not today. Derek Walton Jr. brings it along, flips it over to the side, gets it back. Working off a screen from DJ Wilson. DJ Wilson now has it up top over to Duncan Robinson, who gets a Donnell screen. Pull up 18-footer, back iron, no good. Rebound Hill, might have gotten away with a trap. Hill up top gets a screen from Morgan. Doesn't use it, flips back to Morgan. Morgan now back into Hill, who has Donnell working on him in the post. And we're going to have a foul on Duncan Robinson. That'll be his second. Not sure what the contact was there.
Yeah, and
I thought it was a let-him play scenario.
all I know is that Morgan Maverick's causing problems for Michigan defensively. They are just – Mark Donnell has not been able to body him up and seal him off from getting inside positioning in the painted area. And Michigan thought they'd have an edge in the paint. That has not been the case.
And Hill on the inbounds tried to move right. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman getting in his way. He'll pick up a personal foul.
Well, they're certainly calling it tight here early on, and 5 fouls already for Michigan in the first half, 2 more, and Illinois is going to be in the bonus, and we still have 10.5 to go here in the opening period of play.
Illinois leads 21-18. Their ball fresh 30. As Hill now gets a handoff, dribble drive right side, layup no good. Offensive rebound, Black. Black puts up the putback, no good. Rebound to now. Now up to Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. He tries to find some space. Spin move out on the inside, off the right glass, long, no. Tipped out, finally corralled in by Black. Handoff to Abrams. Abrams brings it up, gets a screen from Black. Now has DJ Wilson on. Tries to work inside, eventually kicks it out to Morgan. Morgan, 16-footer is good. He's doing it from all over the floor today against the Michigan Wolverines. DJ Wilson now trying to go baseline. We're going to have a reach and foul on the Illinois Illini. LeRon Black will take that foul. Third team for the Illini.
Michigan seems a lot of hands on hips. They seem to be pretty gassed, and that's one big advantage Illinois has is they're just going to keep rotating guys in who can go full throttle. Michigan has some guys who are going to have to take the foot off the gas pedal, especially given this late start. It's 9 o'clock for these guys' body clocks.
Xavier Simpson now in the game for the Wolverines as he has it up top. Flips it over to DJ Wilson. Now Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman looking to do something with it. Now over to Simpson looking to feed it in. Dribble flare screen for Rahman. Rahman just takes off with it. Almost a righty jam over top of Malcolm Hill. Can't get it, but will draw the foul. Didn't think Marr had those types of ups.
I mean, he really elevated there. They list him at 6'4", probably closer to 6'1", but I mean, he really got up, and I think if it wasn't for the foul, would have facialized the Illinois defender.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting just a finger hold, then I saw the rim get pulled down. First one from Marr is good as Wagner checks back in for Mark Donnell.
Well, I'm still kind of stunned.
I know.
I did not know he had that
he had it in.
leaping ability in those legs. Wow.
I don't think Malcolm Hill thought that either. And he gets both of them, nothing but net.
This is a big couple of possessions with Wagner back in for Donnell. How does he do on the defensive end against Morgan Maverick?
23-20, Illinois leads. Maverick Morgan certainly has been the story for the Illini. Now he gets dumped inside to Malcolm Hill, and he gets it. DJ Wilson has it up top, trying to go left side, lefty layup off the glass and in. Caught an edge over, it looked like Nichols, and took it all the way into the hoop. As Coleman Land has it, jump stop 6 feet away, bumped outside.
Wow.
And
they missed a foul there. I mean, a nice savvy hip check from Wagner to force the contact on Lands, but I think he got away with one there.
Yeah, certainly as the pass got tipped, Lands was trying to get it. Mo Wagner showing much more experience than what you would think. As he hands it off to Derek Walton Jr. Derek Walton Jr. tries to take an edge, flips it up, and in, and one as he draws the foul.
He will go to the line to shoot one. Michigan finding all sorts of room in the orange painted area, and they should continue to pound the basketball inside until Illinois forces them to do otherwise.
Derek Walton Jr. looking to tie this one up at 25 apiece with 8.5 here to go in the first half of Big Ten interconference play. And he hits it, tied ball game. Lucas now bringing it up for the Illini. He passes off to Lands, back to Lucas. Lucas has Derek Walton Jr. on him. Now over to Lands. Lands receives a screen from Morgan. Morgan now from 16 feet. Tries to find a cutting Hill. Can't get it. Intercepted by Zach Irvin. Zach Irvin pushes it all the way in the corner to Derek Walton. Pump fake. Dribbles into DJ Wilson in the paint. Lays it up and in. Michigan takes the lead now, 27-25.
That's a pass freshman, sophomore, or junior Derek Walton doesn't make, but great vision, drives baseline, knows he has a big weighting inside that arced area in the painted area.
Lucas now has it up top, 15, and not a whole lot of offensive movement from Illinois as he gets swung around to Hill. Hill now has it, doubled up top over to Nichols. Nichols for three, no good. Excuse me, two just inside the line. Rebound Michigan as Derek Walton Jr. brings it up. He receives a screen from Wagner. Spins around up top, trying to work it in. Loses the ball, wants a foul, won't get one. Lucas now brings it up. He flips it over to Nichols. Nichols now driving into DJ Wilson, no good. Tip back up and in by Nichols. Stick-to-itiveness pays off there. Tied back up at 27.
Yeah, lack of focus and effort there from Wagner, who was in position to secure that rebound. He just let the hustler hustle inside him.
Mo Wagner now working baseline, takes it all the way up and in. Gets contact, can't draw the foul. Rebound Illinois. As not Nichols, but Lucas gives a baseline feed to Maverick Morgan, and once again, the big man puts it in. Active all over the floor is Maverick Morgan today. Derek Walton Jr. swings it around, eventually gets into the hands of Zach Irvin. Big possession here as the Illinois crowd is getting into it. DJ Wilson, hand in the face three, rattles in and out. Rebound Maverick Morgan. Lucas now has it. Oh, between the legs dribble, gets an edge on Derek Walton Jr. Flip out to Nichols. Nichols for three, rattles it home. 32-27, John Beeline calls it timeout. Has to nip this one in the bud before it gets out of hand. 6:16 to go here in the first half.
I mean, just like that, Michigan gets their first lead of the game, and it disappears in a blink of an eye when both teams are playing this well offensively, both shooting comfortably over 60%. You can't afford to go a few possessions without scoring the bucket, and this little 7-0 run enough to warrant a timeout. But I'm not as concerned with Michigan's offense, but defensively, they've got to make some adjustments. Too many bigs trying to draw charges from the smallest guys on the floor for Illinois.
And Maverick Morgan has been maybe a breath of fresh air from this team who Maverick Morgan only averages 9.4 per game, already has 12 today on 6 of 7 shooting. He's been doing it inside, outside, moving along that baseline, getting feeds from the penetrating guards, and Michigan just doesn't have a defensive answer for them. Illinois shooting 14 of 21 at the tune of 67%, while Michigan shooting at 69%, 11 of 16. Not a whole lot of defense being played, but Illinois is strung together the larger run.
Yeah, and when Michigan's been at their best this year, it's been offense like this, but it's also been really good defense, and Michigan has been very one-sided in this opening half. Give Illinois credit for making a lot of shots, but a couple of defensive breakdowns, particularly in the painted area, has Maverick Morgan playing out of his mind right now.
This first half reminiscent of the Wolverines' West Coast trip out to UCLA, where that first half it seemed like everything was falling for both teams.
It really is. It's just Michigan's not taking as many threes. But Maverick Morgan, this is a guy who averages 9 points per game. He had 18 in their previous outing at Indiana, and he's already got 12 going here early on. But 6 of 7, he's not that good a player to be shooting that well. But any guy in the Big Ten is going to make open layups, and Michigan is doing him all sorts of favors with defensive lapses from all three of their bigs. None of them have played particularly well early on.
No, and you talked earlier that the Illini aren't a great three-point shooting team, but this Michigan Wolverines defense is giving up too much guard penetration, whether it be off the pick and roll, not hedging hard enough. And when the hedge is hard from the big defender, there's no backside help, and that's where Maverick Morgan is just eating the Wolverines.
Yeah, there's no reason that Moritz Wagner or DJ Wilson should be responsible for cutting off the path of the Illinois point guard from getting to the rim, and that's been the case too many times, too many blow-bys.
Michigan has only led this game for a minute 13, while the Illini have led it for 7 minutes and 40 seconds. And if Michigan's not careful here, the lead could get a lot bigger.
Yeah, it's Michigan's basketball. This is a huge possession because it's very easy to get
back into it,
and it's very easy to get run out of a game on the road. A late start. Michigan's got to get out of this funk, or we could be headed into halftime with this game already seemingly decided.
Nichols, Lucas, Abrams, Hill, and Morgan. DJ Wilson has it. Dribble handoff to Zach Irvin. Zach Irvin, 15-footer along that wing, and got it. Like you said, that seems to be his most comfortable spot on the floor.
Nearly automatic from that right elbow.
As Lucas now has it. A little bit of baseline switching going between a couple of guards and the Illini. A couple of dribble handoffs, finds the ball in Hill's hand. He now swings it back to Lucas, back to Hill with 10 on the shot clock. DJ Wilson playing defense on him. Hill working, he loses it. Scooped up by Derek Walton Jr., taking in, has pressure everywhere, lays it up and in.
So good in the transition game, battling through contact, and savvy enough to always try to draw the and one. He didn't get it there, but the ability to finish when trying to draw contact is equally important.
Yeah, and did a nice job not contorting his body, trying to draw contact to the point where he couldn't finish. Like you said, senior Derek Walton Jr., much more smarter than the earlier. It looks like we have maybe an illegal screen on Maverick Morgan. And now we see Michael Finke check back in. Derek Walton Jr. swings it along the left side to Zach Irvin. Over to Wagner. Wagner to Wilson now. Wilson showing he wanted to take the three, doesn't. Gives it off to Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. And we have a whistle. It's on Tracy Abrams. Maybe a little too aggressive on defense.
And Michigan has gone 5 minutes plus without committing a foul. And now Illinois has put Michigan in the one-on-one bonus.
Coleman Lands now checks in for Abrams.
But it feels like just seconds ago we were talking about Michigan has to be careful, prevent themselves from sending Illinois to the line. But, in fact, Illinois has caught up and surpassed them.
5 minutes to go. Illinois leads 32-31. First, the front end of the one-and-one is no good for Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. Score will stay the same. Illinois gets the rebound and brings it up.
Can't afford to give up freebies, especially on the road.
No, Lucas receives a screen from LaRon Black. Skip pass, though, all the way in to Lands. Lands working. Misses the easy, not easy, but slightly contested layup. Should have went down anyway. Rebound Michigan. As Derek Walton Jr. has it. Pull up three. Rattles it home.
And you know what? With a savvy senior like that, you're willing to let him take those contested shots, those difficult shots, because more often than not, he knows when he's going to hit them.
34-32, Michigan in the lead now. 4:20 to play. Illinois ball has it up top. Lucas receives a screen from Finke. Passes it to the screener. Back over. That looks like Lands as he dribble drives in. Finds DJ Wilson coming around. DJ Wilson dip around. Finke ends up with the loose ball and an easy lay-in. The Michigan defense committed to that loose ball. Couldn't get it in. And Finke was the beneficiary of some bad bounces.
Wagner slid over for defensive help, and I'm not sure why, because Wilson had done enough to alter that shot. Wagner left his man, and Finke cleans up the garbage.
Derek Walton now has along the left wing, gets a screen from Wagner. Wagner pick and pop, left iron, no good. Rebound, Coleman Lands.
I think Wagner continues to think that's his game, but he just hasn't shown the shooting touch for it to really be.
Lands now kicks it out to LaRon Black. Ugly looking three-pointer there. First bad shot we've seen out of Black today. Zach Irvin with the rebound, now brings it up, trying to work it in. Dribble handoff Derek Walton Jr. Derek Walton Jr. pushes off, spikes the ball, and a technical foul will be assessed to Derek Walton Jr.
Yeah, and Walton showing his frustration. I'm not sure that it's a pretty quick tee to pull out there, the first technical, I think, against Michigan this entire season. I'm not sure that warranted a technical, though. I got to be completely honest.
It didn't look like it was a spike out of anger. He spiked it towards the hoop, maybe trying to make it.
Certainly out of frustration, but I think the ref would have been better served perhaps talking to him. But it could have been something he said as well. But just based on the action we could see from here at the highest point in the arena, not sure it's enough to warrant a tee, but he was given one.
Tonight's question: how many NCAA tournament Elite Eight appearances has the Fighting Illini basketball team?
It looks like Maverick Morgan will be checking back in out of this break for the Illini. 3:21 to go in the first half. 34-34. So far, if you're the Wolverines, despite how hot both teams have been, you'll take a tied game at this point on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Just Michigan, once again, has to be careful to keep their composure. Just as much as we've praised Walton for his senior presence, for him to pick up a technical like that, you just can't have it. It's given free points to the other team.
Michigan, next foul they commit will put Illinois into the bonus, 1-1. Leo, I got to ask you, you see women's college basketball moves into the quarter situation with 5 fouls, just automatic double bonus. Which do you prefer?
I think it's fine the way it currently is. I like the 1-on-1 structure. I think particularly in NCAA tournament time, you see that becomes such a factor. Guys missing the front end, so many calculations to be made on, are they going to need a 3 to tie? Is a 3 going to win it? I like having the 1-on-1 in the college game, especially with the 40-minute format. I just think to break it into quarters would be diluting the game too much.
Despite the students being on break right now, it is the student ban, I believe we have confirmed with our spotter. Performing very well here in State Farm Center. Seats 15,544 people. Wouldn't surprise me to see a attendance here of over 13,500.
It's a beautiful venue, too.
Recently has been renovated over the past 3 years. It was a technical foul on Derek Walton Jr., and that foul will put Illinois in the bonus. And it looks like they will be sending Malcolm Hill to the line. Will be shooting 2. First one is good, giving Illinois the lead, 35-34. Second coming. And that one is good. And it will stay Illinois basketball. Can push this to a 2-possession game with less than 3.5 here to go in the first half. Lucas now brings it up, slowly but surely, working along the right side now. He flips it over to Hill. Hill loses it but gets it back. Now working on Irvin, fadeaway jumper, no good. Tip back by Nichols, no good. Rebound again, right over DJ Wilson. Nichols with 2 more, 38-34.
Michigan giving up 5 offensive rebounds thus far.
To a much smaller team.
Yeah, getting out rebounded 12-6, and that's a recipe to lose games on the road.
Nichols will get caught reaching in. That'll be 1-1 now for DJ Wilson. Couple big free throws here for the Wolverines. Can't let this one get out of hand going into half.
They're doing their job on the first possessions defensively, but you got to clean up the glass. And the size doesn't seem to be a factor. It's whenever the guards are getting those offensive rebounds, it's a matter of effort.
First of the 1-1 from DJ Wilson, back iron. Second missed one in front end of the 1-1 for the Wolverines. Illinois now has it. Taking a lot of time off this clock. Flips it over to Lands. Lands now working, dribble handoff to Hill. Hill 15-footer is down. Feeling it right now is this entire Illinois team. Shooting to the tune of almost 60%. Now the crowd gets into it as DJ Wilson has it. Swings around to Xavier Simpson. Simpson and Irvin play back and forth. Swung down low to Mo Wagner. Wagner's going to get hit with a charging call. Good defensive possession there by the Illini. They're going to get the ball back on a turnover.
And I think that's a bad call. I think there was a bit too much movement. Beeline's got to stand up for his players, and he's out about 3 feet onto the court, rightfully so. With this little 8-0 run, Michigan on the verge of going down double digits.
Now we have reached the 2-minute mark. And Lands has it along the left wing. Over to Maverick Morgan. Now over to Lucas, over to Lands, and Lands buries the 3-pointer off a screen. 43-34, it's a 9-point ball game. Biggest offensive possession of the day for the Wolverines. The Illinois crowd getting into it. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman has it, swings over to Xavier Simpson, back to Mar. Mar pump fake deep 3, dribbles in, pull up 8-footer, no good, rebound Hill. Hill now pushing the pace, passes it over to Lands. Lands pump fake for 3, got it! 12-point game, timeout John Beeline. This one has gotten out of hand for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Michigan right now on both ends of the floor looks lost. They look even worse, though, disinterested. And you have to play with passion. You have to play with energy. You have to want it more when you go on the road, and that has been the case for Illinois.
The Michigan offensive possessions have just not been great. They haven't gotten an easy look, and I can't remember how long.
And they're getting out rebounded. The second chance points 8-0 right now. Bench points 14-0. It has not been the start Michigan could have hoped for, certainly.
No offensive rebounds for the Wolverines.
Illinois is a team that has turned the ball over quite a bit of late. However, Michigan has forced just 4 turnovers from Illinois, so they're really not getting it done on the defensive end. And usually it's good defense that sparks good offense. Michigan has had neither.
Michigan on a current scoring drought over the last 3 minutes, and in that time, Illinois went on a 14-0 run. They find themselves up 46-34 with 1:18 to play. As the true freshman, Xavier Simpson, will bring it up for the Wolverines. Pass over to Irvin, back to Simpson. Back to Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. Back to him. He pump fakes up to DJ Wilson on the elbow. He dribbles it out. Now he tries to work one-on-one. Goes in. We're going to body foul on, is that Maverick Morgan? Malcolm Hill, excuse me. Malcolm Hill, that will be his first. DJ Wilson shooting 1-1 once more, seeing if Michigan can finally convert.
Got to make the
on the
front
first
end of this. This is a big free throw, and I think he knows it.
And he makes the first one, nothing but net. John Beilein can breathe a sigh of relief right there. Finke now checks in for Hill, making sure Malcolm Hill doesn't pick up another one. Mark Donnell checks in for Mo Wagner, who's been very quiet. TJ Wilson, the back end of the 1-1, is down. 2 big free throws, gets it back to a 10-point game with just under a minute here to play. 55 seconds to be exact. Lucas has it, taking as much time as possible, trying to get Illinois into the halftime with a double-digit lead. He receives a screen from Finke. He kicks it down into Morgan. Morgan skip pass to Finke. Finke for 3 with a hand in his face. Of course it goes down at this point in time. 13-point lead for the Illini. There will be a 5-second difference between the shot clock and the play clock. And Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman is going to exercise that play clock to the very end. Or excuse me, the shot clock. He has it, receives a screen from Donnell. Over to Simpson. Simpson dribble penetration back out to Wilson. Wilson has it. Now back into the corner for Xavier Simpson. This needs to go down. Front iron, it doesn't. Rebound, Finke. 4-3. It looks like you got a timeout.
They had their use it or lose it timeout, and they just get it off. They'll, I'm sure, replay this, add a few more seconds as well.
3.6 seconds on the clock as it shows. And Xavier Simpson has to knock down that wide open 3 in the corner.
Yeah, Xavier Simpson, just 2 points in his 3 games of conference play, and he's a guy who has made just a quarter of his attempts from deep, but he's certainly a better shooter than the numbers reflect. Just situationally, though, that would have been a huge basket. And if Illinois can add to their 13-point lead, Michigan's going to have to do some real soul-searching. I mean, even if they can hold Illinois off the scoreboard one more time, it's going to be a halftime of real soul-searching because, as we talked about before this game, Michigan doesn't really have much room for error in toss-up games when it comes to their NCAA tournament bubble spot. And Michigan, going into the locker room, is just going to have to really think about how badly do they want it, because right now Illinois, and it's clear based on effort, wants to win this game more. I know it's cliche, but you can see it, and there's a clear difference between these two sides.
And what a big 3 by freshman Michael Finke, hand in the face right off the bench to extend that lead to 13. And there's no reason that wouldn't go down. Illinois shooting 63%, 5 of 6 from, or excuse me, 5 of 6 from the 3-point line, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 20 of 32 from the field. Michigan shooting 64%, but haven't been getting looks. A lot of turtle. 3.6 seconds. Illinois will inbound it from their own baseline. Quick pass to Lucas. 3, 2, 1. Lucas is going to get a decent look, but just loses it. Can't get it off. Xavier Simpson will get it. And Michigan goes into the half down 13 on the road to the Fighting Illini, 49-36. Leo, what's that halftime locker room going to be? Talk's going to be about?
It's either going to be a lot of screaming and shouting or a lot of solace and mourning. But Michigan, whatever they're going to do at the halftime, they've got to find a way to get more energy because they just have not looked ready to play this game.
Your first half leaders, Maverick Morgan leads Illinois with 12. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman leads Michigan with 12. And with that, we will conclude the first half of this broadcast. Philip Dyke and Leo Blavin we will come back to you at the second half for Michigan, Illinois.
Welcome back inside the State Farm Center here in Champaign, Illinois, as the Illinois Fighting Illini lead Michigan 49-36 as we get set to start the second half here on the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, WCBN FM Ann Arbor. I am Leo Blavin. Joining me high above the floor here in the State Farm Center is Dalton Pataki. Dalton, what did you see from the first half? Where can Michigan improve?
Michigan, they got off to that good shooting start, just like Illinois, and they're keeping pace in the stat book. Michigan shooting 64%, but a lot of turnovers late and poor defense in the post and in transition. They've given up way too many good looks from three, and they've given up layup after layup. In Michigan, they got to snap their head out of that last 8-minute funk they were in if they want to make this game even competitive towards the end, let alone win.
Illinois shot the ball 63% in the first half from the field, 20 of 32, including 5 of 6 from behind the arc. Michigan, equally impressive offensively, 64% shooting from the field, 60% from behind the arc on 3 of 5 shooting. They missed 2 free throws, 2 on the front end of the 1-and-1. Also a fairly clean game for both sides in terms of turnovers, 5 for Michigan, 4 for Illinois. However, Illinois out-rebounding Michigan 16-6. How does Michigan improve their effort on the glass?
Well, they're getting outworked. Guards are out-rebounding over the bigs. And Michigan has no offensive rebound. Even though they've been shooting at 64% at a high rate, Illinois has 10 more attempts than the Wolverines. And that in direct correlation with more rebounds. So Michigan, if they can't make it, they have to find a way to get second offensive possession.
Michigan will start the second half with the basketball, working from right to left in their blue road uniforms with the maize trim. Illinois in their home white with the blue numerals on the floor. For Illinois, Coleman Landis, Malcolm Hill, Tracy Abrams, Maverick Morgan. And the last man out there is LaRon Black. With the basketball for Michigan, Derek Walton Jr., joined by Moritz Wagner, Zach Irvin, Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman, and DJ Wilson. Irvin will start this first possession of the second half with a jumper from the free throw line. No good. The rebound brought down by the Illini, who work it left to right, nursing a 13-point lead as we start the second half. Off a pick and pop, Maverick Morgan, wide open. He buries it from the left elbow.
Continues his hot shooting first half as he moves to 7 of 8 from the field.
14 points to lead all scorers for the senior big man. Maverick Morgan having himself quite the game. DJ Wilson trying to answer, nearly loses his footing, defers to Irvin at the top of the key. 10 seconds on the shot clock. He'll reset at the block eye near midcourt. 5 on the shot clock. Nearly loses possession. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by an Illini defender. I believe Maverick Morgan got his hand on it. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and Irvin will inbound it in front of John Beeline in the Michigan bench. 4 ticks to get a shot off. They'll inbound it behind midcourt. Walton will pull up for a contested three-pointer off the rim. No good. Tracy Abrams chases down the the defensive rebound.
And Michigan complacent on offense. A lot of standing around and dribble handoffs. They just can't get the edge on the Illini.
LaRon Black, an 8-footer from the baseline. No good. Rebound brought down by Irvin. Michigan pushing pace the other way. Down by 15. Illinois with their largest lead of this game with 18 minutes and change to go. Wagner will try a triple. That's a big 3. Nothing but twine.
Michigan absolutely needed that. Pull this one to a 12-point game. And Mo Wagner, quiet in the first half, maybe can have a big second half.
His first points of the game come with 18 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the game. And it's Michigan's 4th three-pointer of this contest on the road. Their second road Big Ten game of the season. Michigan looking to boost that conference resume with the NCAA tournament drawing near each and every day. Illinois working left to right. They had to inbound it on a poke ball out of bounds, and a nice little hook shot from LaRon Black from 5 feet out. Got it to go.
And once again, no defensive communication between the Michigan bigs as Wagner and DJ Wilson both collapsed on the penetrating ball handler and left no one back on D.
Rahman going to work against the 6-year senior Tracy Abrams. Gives to Wagner. Wagner going to work on the dribble against Maverick Morgan. Kicks it up top to Rahman. 7 on the shot clock. 5 as he drives baseline. Kicks it up top. A 3-pointer for Wagner, who got ran into. He gives a hug to the ref. His momentum forced him to do so, and maybe a hug for the call as well. And it appears as though Moritz Wagner will be headed to the line to shoot 3.
And needs to make all 3 of these, as we saw at the end of the first half. Michigan struggled with their free throw shooting, missing 2 front ends of 1-and-1s. You can't help but think if they make both of those and maybe stop the Illinois runs, how this game could be different.
The first one is good for Wagner. It was a 17-2 run after Derek Walton Jr. picked up a technical foul with about 5 minutes to go. That saw Illinois head into the locker room up double digits. Wagner's second freebie is up, and it is through. He came into this game shooting 68% from the line, but he's 2 for 2 thus far.
And Wagner and Wilson have to work out the defensive kinks between each other. They're both collapsing on the same person, leaving that backside rebounding or passing wide open.
Rolls around the cylinder but falls through, and Wagner is responsible for all 6 of Michigan's second half points. The lead down to 11 with 17:40 to go. It's Illinois 53, Michigan 42, Illinois with the basketball. LaRon Black with it at the top of the key. DJ Wilson in good defensive positioning, forces the turnover. Michigan pushing pace. Walton to Urban, gets inside the lane, floats in the air for a moment, lays it in with the right hand, and Michigan going on a nice little 8-0 run, cuts the lead to single digits, and John Gross takes his second timeout of the game. 17:21 left to go in this one. Michigan down by 9, 44-53. Nice little sequence there for the Maize and Blue.
Yeah, really the first look of true transition we've seen out of the Wolverines in this game. Michigan finally getting a stop. DJ Wilson corralling in to finish off the steal on the defensive end, getting it up to Derek Walton Jr., who found a cutting Zach Irvin. And Zach Irvin, excellent job changing direction to avoid a screaming by defender of Illinois to knock the ball away. And then to have the wherewithal to lay it up soft.
Illinois had such great success in the first half offensively. What can John Gross draw up in this timeout to get the Illini offense back on track?
They should look to get it to their big man, Maverick Morgan. I mean, he's been excellent thus far. 7 of 8 shooting on for 14 points. He's done a nice job on the pick and roll, where Michigan, who has had that defensive collapse inside, if you just get him on a pick and roll, he's found the open space. And he's been smart enough today to know the roll's not there. I can hit that 15 to 18 footer, so I'll just pop and take an open jump shot.
With the depth Illinois had, you knew they would lead in bench points, but Michigan has not had a single point come from a non-starter. That has to change in the second half. Who can the Wolverines look to get going from the bench?
Duncan Robinson. This game you talked about, there will be a lot of opportunities for three-pointers, and he picked up 2 personal fouls really quick, which ended his first half early. But now, when he comes back into this game, he has to be that spark off the bench. That's why John Beilein brought him from D3 schools. Duncan Robinson can shoot. He's dang near automatic from the corners. But he has to be able to pass, relocate, and find a way to get open on the perimeter, whether that be catching his defender sleeping or coming off a flare screen. He has to be a catch-and-shoot guy off the bench.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Michigan's found a rhythm on the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. They'll keep their starting 5 out there. 2 timeouts left for both sides. 1 foul against Illinois in the second half. None so far against the Maize and Blue. 17:21 left to go in regulation time here at the State Farm Center in Champaign, Illinois. You're listening to Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Michigan trailing the Illini 44-53. Illinois with the basketball, coming off an 8-0 run for the Maize and Blue that have trimmed this lead down to 9. Illinois is led by as many as 15 in this game. Top of the key, Hill with it. Kicking it and converting is LaRon Black, finding his rhythm on that baseline from about 8 feet out. He's been money.
Yeah, LaRon Black got going early in this game, just keeps it up. Illinois shooting at a 64% pace. I guess you can say that for almost anyone on the floor for them.
Lead back up to 11. Irving with the basketball for Michigan. Drives inside, gets to the right block, has his shot rejected by Maverick Morgan, who wisely tips it to his teammate LaRon Black, and back the other way come the Illini. Hill has his path cut off, kicks up top to Black. And a step back three-pointer buried by Jalen Coleman lands. He was set the Illini record for freshman three-pointers a season ago, and he's the leading three-point shooter on this Illini squad as well, and he buries the triple there. Illinois with a good sequence, forcing a turnover the other end. Abrams ahead to Coleman lands, kicks to Hill, gets it off the glass, no good, but the defensive foul will go against Wagner. And as quickly as Michigan had the lead down to 9, it is on the verge of being the largest Illini lead of this game. If these two free throws can be converted from Hill, it will be a 16-point lead.
Going back to the Coleman Lands three, that was an instance where just a hot shooting team keeps putting it in the hoop. That was pretty good defense there by, I believe, Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. And I'm not so sure that was a foul down low by Mo Wagner. I thought he got there in time and went straight up. But nonetheless, Michigan, they can't turn it over, and they have to get better at on-ball defense.
Both free throws from Hill are good. He's got 8 points for the Illini, and this is the largest lead for Illinois in this game with 16 minutes to go. Illinois on top by 16. Michigan working right to left, trying to cut into the deficit. Wilson, hook shot with the right hand, up and through.
And that should be there all day for DJ Wilson, as he is the most obvious long and athletic guy on the court.
Abrams drives inside, and it was a moving pick, well called by the official. Maverick Morgan, his second, team third. And there's another timeout on the floor with 15:44 left to go. It's Illinois 60, Michigan 46, with Michigan still having NCAA tournament aspirations. We mentioned at the start of this broadcast that this is a game Michigan really couldn't afford to lose, particularly after dropping another easy road win opportunity in conference play at Iowa. Back down 14, Michigan's really got to get it done more on the defensive end. How?
Defensively, they just have to finish the possession on the defensive glass. Too many offensive rebounds. None yet thus far for Illinois, but also on dribble penetration, the entire Michigan defense is closing. There has to be man integrity out there on the defensive end of the floor. The Wolverines, when collapsing on everyone, is allowing wide open three-pointers, allowing the Illini guards to just cut for easy layups with no contention from big. There has to be communication, and someone who particularly is DJ Wilson usually fills that role as defensive communicator. It seems like there's none out there right now.
15:44 to go. Illinois and Michigan both shooting over 60% from the field, but Illinois has had 9 extra field goal attempts, in large part due to the offensive rebounding differential, 6-0 in favor of Illinois. There haven't been many rebounds to come by, just 26 between the two sides, but it's a 12-rebound margin in favor of the orange and blue, and Michigan's got to put more effort into getting those boards.
Yeah, someone has to be that spark offensively. You saw it with Mo Wagner in this first half, responsible for the first 6 points of the Wolverines. But no one is crashing that glass. We've seen when Zach Irvin, and Michigan has to look for the open guys. Everyone's trying to do too much right now. We saw Zach Irvin dribble drive in the lane. He had 2 or 3 defenders collapse onto him, and he didn't look to kick out anywhere. He tried to force a layup and get contact. They haven't been getting contact on their drive, as evidence of their free throws off of non-1-and-1s. And because I can think of 5 of their 10 free throws that came from, 7 of their 10 free throws came from either 1-and-1s or that 3-point shot from Mo Wagner. So obviously down low, they're not calling the fouls. You have to drive, keep your head up, look around, find the open man, and count on your team to make the open shot. Gut check time for the Wolverines.
Ball movement has certainly played a factor as well. 15:44 left to go between Michigan and Illinois. The Illini on top at home, 60-46. The assist favoring the orange and blue, 14-7. Michigan with the basketball, working right to left, with all their starters with the exception of Duncan Robinson in for Zach Irvin on the floor. Coleman lands, Black, Abrams, Hill, and Morgan on the floor for the Illini. inside the free throw line. Wilson gets the 8-footer to go.
Comes up hobbled. May have landed on the foot of Maverick Morgan.
Putting absolutely no weight on that right foot. But you give him credit, he's out there, but clearly impaired physically. Michigan's going to have to make a substitution. Robinson with a hand in the face of Hill, and he still gets it to go. Hard to defend the guy who's just feeling it from deep.
And that was a good defensive possession there by the Wolverines. Doubling Morgan when they needed to. Defense rotating over. Once again, just a case of hot shooting winning over defense tonight.
Hill shot 40% from behind the arc coming into this game, and he has continued that pace. That's his first of the game, and he buried it. And an off-ball foul. Obviously, DJ Wilson must be okay because Michigan is elected not to substitute for him given the stoppage in play. Tejan Lucas Kipper Nichols checking in for the Illini.
And that's the third personal foul on Tracy Abrams. Something to look at, as you noted, the 6-year veteran who will be seeing extended time on the bench.
Wagner from the 3-4 line drives and loses a handle on it. It goes out of bounds. Ball to Illinois. Turnover number 7 for the Maize and Blue. With 14:24 to play, Illinois on top 63-48.
Well, Wagner had a nice behind-the-back dribble to get an edge over Morgan, and his eyes may have just gotten too big and just lost it out of bounds.
It was a nice move, but not able to finish and keep a handle on the basketball. Illinois working left to right, trying to increase their lead. With a basket, Illinois would have their largest lead of the game at 17. Maverick Morgan gets it to go from the near side baseline, 6 feet away from the rim.
Only a 9-point-per-game score, but tonight he might be the best player on the floor. You can't give him an inch of space here.
Back-to-back games with 16 points. He had 16 on Saturday against Indiana, and he's got 16 thus far tonight, still with 13 minutes in Shane. Wilson, top of the key, thought about a three-pointer. Instead, elects to use his dribble and gives to Rockmon. Nothing doing for Michigan with 5 on the shot clock. Rockmon drives inside, step back 2, off the back heel of the rim, and the rebound secured by Nicken.
And once again, Michigan goes into the default dribble handoff, looking for penetration offense. Coach Beeline is going to have to draw something up here that gives them an easy look to jumpstart this offense.
Feed down low to Nichols, who gets it off the right block, off the glass and through, and the lead is up to 19. Michigan getting routed here on the road, and this is not the effort or performance Michigan needed if they want to keep their hopes alive of being an at-large NCAA tournament bid. Not a great start to conference play. Rockmon kicks it to Walton. He'll try a 3. Michigan needs it to go. Of course it does not. Wilson comes down with the offensive board. His putback attempt, no good. And just nothing falling for Michigan. 7-0 run for the Illini. And Michigan hasn't scored in 3 minutes.
Discouraging there to see a Wolverine finally pull down an offensive board, only to miss the 2-foot lay-in.
Maverick Morgan gives to Lucas. Coleman lands trapped, fires a cross-court pass that somehow connects. Hill, perhaps a bit too unselfish, gave to Kipper Nichols, and the shot clock runs out. They might take a look at it. There might be a second left on the shot clock. It would be, I believe, Illinois basketball, where it went out of bounds baseline. They may have a second to play. They'll likely take a look at it. Nope, shot clock violation, the official call, much to the dismay of John Gross. Xavier Simpson checks in for the senior Derek Walton Jr. And let's see if the freshman can spark a Michigan run. They desperately need it, down 67-48 with 12-12 to play.
And you can't fault the Illini for trying to be generous there, as they have assisted on 17 of 27 made baskets thus far.
DJ Wilson goes to work off the dribble. Top of the key gives to Urban. Screen from Wagner on the right side. Urban steps inside from the free throw line. His jumper, short. Lucas back the other way.
Michigan running now, looks like a very loose man.